the first part of the video. Now I'm going to show you how to install the Lectron carburetor. I have this Lectron we just actually got out of the box, and this is how they come out of the box already. Your choke here, and when they're brand new, the chokes are quite hard. So I usually, even though the factory does put a little teeny bit of grease on there, it's nice to put a little grease on there, like I just did now, and work it up and down just a couple times. Reason is two things: so you don't have to reach in there and struggle with it, and two, it'll lubricate that. If it's obviously we have our carburetor go in here. There are vent lines which are going to route down underneath the swing arm. Just two vent lines. Some people take these vent lines and they will slice them, and it gives it a little bit more air to breathe. Just a little trick from the motocross guys and stuff, but it's not necessary. So we're going to take this carburetor here and install it in this manifold. First thing we want to do is I'd take and loosen these clamps up as much as I possibly can. I'll loosen them up till they're just about ready to fall out. This way it's a lot easier to install, and you got room on your manifold. So I'll take them out to, there's not much screw left anymore there. Really loose. The same thing on your other side. And you'll see why later, why this is necessary to do. I like to have the clamps facing up to tighten. And you can even move the clamp back if you want. Not necessary, but you can do that. So, that makes it ready. Well, now what I do is, I'll take this airbox. The best thing to do is put the carburetor in the airbox first. Not in there first. A lot of people try to put it in here first. It's a mistake because it's hard to get in and it's just hard to work with. You want to put the airbox in first because the airbox got give to it. And it's always, I just take this a couple times and loosen the airbox up a little bit. It's a little harder when you get in the cold weather. It's nice when it's warmer out. So you might want to do it in a warm garage, and just make sure that's nice and pliable. When I used to go up north and tune the bikes and do carb racing installs, we would take a hairdryer and just go over this with a hairdryer and make it nice and loose, so it's nice and loose there, so you can push it in. And the reason is because you're going to push it in, you're going to push the carburetor back and then let it drop into the manifold. So it's going to take the carburetor, push it in the hole, push the carburetor back, and then let it drop into the hole. So take our carburetor, and we want to get it in there into the boot first. Take here, start it in the boot, reach in here. I'm in the boot. I'm going to pull it back like that. So now I'm pushing it, compressing it. Just line it up in the intake manifold like that. Now it's lined up with the intake manifold. This is why you want to have these clamps loose, so it's easy to work with, and then push it in your intake manifold. That's all there is to it. And it's very simple. There's some really methods trying to get. If you try to get in there first, you'll be struggling for a long time. And then obviously you're gonna make sure you're on your air boot correctly. And if not, you can just take the carburetor, move around a little bit like that, and it falls right into place. Nice loose clamps, so everything's nice and loose in there. You can move it around like that. Make sure, okay, you can tell when it grabs the knobs in here that you can see I can move it around like that, and it really doesn't want to move. It's found its home. This is the most important thing. You want a nice tight seal here. That is the low pressure of the vacuum side. This is important, but it doesn't have to be that tight. In fact, we're just talking about snug, hand tight stuff. This is just your air boot. There's no vacuum, low pressure there. The air goes through there, but there's not low pressure there. So this is just a nice seal. You're going to tighten up later. This is the most important one. So I take the carburetor and do this a couple times, make sure everything's seated right. I'll run my lines in a minute. I'm going to show you what to do here. Now, the best thing to do, gotta love live video. The best thing to do when you're changing the meter rod, I always tell people you don't have to take the carburetor out. So we have our clamps that are loose. All you do is turn the carburetor like this, sideways, and you can take your slide out real easy. You make your adjustments, and then when you make your adjustments, you put it back like that. So I'm gonna go grab a couple wrenches here, and I'll get the next tools to do the next part of the job.